DreAllDay.com.
What's up, everybody? Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Today's Thursday, January 30th. It's about 8:30 p.m. We're going to get right into these questions right here for the Q&A. For those of you who don't know, if you want your question answered, leave it in the comments to this video right below now. Don't respond to any comments or questions that other people ask. Just wait for me to get to them next week. And that's it. We're going to go right into this. I haven't read any of these questions yet, so I'm going to go straight through them, straight through any questions. Good questions I'm going to answer, whack questions will be omitted, and hopefully I get to everybody's stuff. Let's see if we get through this as quickly as possible. First question. McCaleb Johnson says, all my thoughts on Carmelo's 62-point game. It was a great game. I didn't actually see the game, but I heard about it, of course, and it was a great game. Ain't really nothing much more to say about it. Alex Bro says, what's more effective, stationary ball handling drills or mobile ball handling drills using cones between chairs or with defenders? Why does one have to be more effective than the other? What's stopping you from doing both? If you got time to do a stationary drill, you could do a moving drill. I don't understand why you had to choose one or the other. Do both. And if you have defenders, then I guess it's not really a drill. Then would it be a drill? If you got defenders, then it's kind of like a game. So I say you do both. When you see my ball handling drills, you see a combination. You see me doing the drill stationary, then I do the drill moving. I used to do sometimes only one or the other. But if you can do a drill moving and stationary, do both. So why would you need to limit yourself? As far as the cones and chairs, I mean, cones and chairs don't move, they don't react, they don't jump, they don't play defense. So I don't really see a need for a cone or a chair. If you could dribble around a cone, why not just dribble around an empty space? What's the difference? Max Brower says he likes the Dre All Day channel, where y'all don't know about that. That's another YouTube channel I got where I post little short thoughts every day. I'm talking like 30-second videos, even less than that most of the time. So thank you, Max, for liking that channel. Elias says, have I ever been in a fist fight playing ball or off the court? Of course. Have I ever been knocked out? I don't think so. B Breezy 24 says he respects it. I don't sugarcoat shit and I keep it real. He says, how do you lose weight without losing muscle mass? You continue to strength train, eat the right foods, watch the type of foods that you eat, and pay attention to how it affects your body. There's no one certain way that works for everyone. You got to find the ways that work for you. And if you really need detailed information, you should talk to a trainer or a nutritionist. I am neither. So don't take my advice as gospel. You got to really dig deep into it and find out what works for your body and what doesn't. That's the first thing. Pay attention to your training program. Pay attention to every single thing you eat. You need to know exactly what you're putting in your body, which means don't eat out and don't eat packaged products because you don't know what that stuff is. You only know what it is when you make it yourself. Eric G says he's 6 feet, 17 years old. He's a point guard. He likes to attack the hoop. But his coach says if you want to play in the pros, you had to be an assist-first point guard like Ricky Rubio because of his size. He says should he stick to his guns or listen to his coach? You could probably take a little bit of your coach's information and a little bit of your own instinct and kind of find a hybrid between the two. I mean, as far as your coach goes, if that's the way your coach wants you to play now, then you should probably do that because that'll keep you on the court. If he's talking about your future and not now, then why don't you just talk to him about that and find out what works for him? See, everything you're saying to me, you should be saying to your coach. If you're kind of stuck between the two schools of thought and your coach is the one giving you the advice, and he said it to you, why don't you ask him, hey, how do you feel about this? Or why don't you tell him how you feel about what he told you? Open your mouth and communicate with people. A lot of you come to me with questions. You having problems with somebody outside of me and you. Your problem's not with me. Your problem's with somebody else, but you're bringing the issue to me. Why don't you bring the issue to the person you got an issue with? That's the reason there's an issue, because you're not saying nothing. B-Baller says, is it safe to start jump manual if I haven't done any weightlifting before? Should I build the base of functional strength first? You can start the program because it builds functional strength with the type of exercises you do, and it also has an introduction and instructions that you need to read before you start the program so that you know what you're doing so you don't fuck yourself up doing stuff that you shouldn't be doing. So just get the program and read it, and then you'll know what you can do and what you can't do. I think a lot of people get workout programs and they just start doing the exercises without reading them. Then they mess up or they don't get the results they want, then they blame it on the program. When the actual situation is you didn't read the information. Roberto Colon says, I'm a freshman Playing basketball, I'm one of the more skilled players in my opinion. But he don't get the ball, and when he does, he doesn't get the ball, but when he does, he passes it. And his dad criticizes him, so he's scared to mess up. How does he get back his confidence? How can I get an open shot off in the game? Well, you get your confidence back. That's kind of an internal thing. I mean, it's not nothing that anyone else can do to give you confidence. I mean, maybe there is, but it's all in your mind. Like, I could say one thing to you, and it can either destroy you or build you up. It's all how your mind works. So you had to figure out what works best for you. I have videos on confidence. I wrote 2 books where I deal with the mind, the Mirror Motivation and the Mental Handbooks. You can check both of those out. They're both available on Amazon.com. Just search my name, search the titles of those books. And again, the videos I have on YouTube, which won't cost you a thing. But you have to figure out what it is that triggers you, gets you into the mind state that you need to be in. And it's your job to know that. Nobody else can tell you what is going to make your mind work a certain way. You had to figure that out, and you had to know it, and then you had to know how and when to push the right buttons to get you to think the right way. So those are things that you need to start working on yourself. AK Premier says, do I have any recommendations about 3-point shooting form? Louis steps behind the line, shots are all over the place, but he can make mid-range shots very easily. He's not very muscular. Do I have any recommendations about gaining muscle mass without necessarily lifting weights? First of all, if you can hit mid-range shots, but you can't make threes because they're all over the place, you should probably stop shooting threes. Eventually, you will gain some strength. You'll gain some strength as you grow, as your body grows, and you develop some strength. You'll be able to shoot from further away. But if you can't make threes, stop shooting threes. That's the first thing you need to do. You know what they say, when you're in a hole, the first rule is to stop digging. All right, so stop shooting threes if you can't make them. That's the first thing you need to do. And as far as gaining strength, was probably one of the reasons why you can't make threes. If you're looking for a program you can do without access to a gym, got that covered. Ultimate Athlete is a 15-week program written by my personal strength and conditioning fitness professional trainer. Her name is Maria Solenscali. It's 15 weeks, and you don't need a gym. You can do it in your living room. The Got Game says, do I think LeBron will leave Miami? No, I do not. Sam Best, he says, how do you step into your jump shot off the dribble? In other words, how to get balance on rhythm. Left foot, then right foot, or right foot, then left foot? Well, first of all, why would you need to do one or the other? You could probably use both in different situations, depending on where you're shooting from, how you're shooting, and what works for you. And second of all, you're asking, how do you step into a jump shot off the dribble? All you got to do is go in the gym, shoot jump shots off the dribble, and figure out the way that works for you. Keep practicing it till you start making them, then you'll know what works for you. So it's not necessarily somebody telling you. You need to go into the gym or on the court, or wherever you play basketball, and practice this thing that you have a problem with until you figure it out. There is no one right way to do it. There is no one way that works for everybody. You got to find what works for you. And the only way you'll know that is by putting in the work on the court. Daniel John says, my coach says, flick your wrists. What does it do? Daniel, ask your coach. He says something to you, you don't know what it means, but you didn't say nothing back. That makes no sense whatsoever. If you don't know what somebody is talking about when they say something to you, ask them. Why are y'all waiting till you get on YouTube to ask me when the person that said it is right there in front of you? You don't say nothing. I don't understand that. David Small says, how can you lift and play ball on the weekdays if you're sore every day? There's no how. You just do it like Nike says. Being sore doesn't mean you can't. It just means you chose not to. Robbie DX7 says, where did I grow up? Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Mount Airy to be exact. Andy Sketch Talk 23 says, what are some regrets I have in my playing career? I don't have any real regrets in my playing career because everything that happened is part of the story, and everything that I am now is built up from everything that came before, so I have no regrets. Kyran McGee says, keep up the great work. Thank you, Kyran. Roberto Colon says, how should I train to make JV next year? Work on your fucking game. Leroy Collins says, should I go to junior college for 1 year or get bigger and increase my game and go to a D2 college and try out? Well, Leroy, it's your life. I'm not going to make the decision for you. You need to think about it, figure it out, then live with your choice. Because you're the only one that got to live with that choice, so I'm not going to make it. You will. And since you're talking about college, I mean, you're old enough, you're pretty much a man. You need to make your own decisions. VLDMR1, he says, what's the funniest moment that ever happened to you in your b-ball career or while recording? You can watch my other channel and see the stories that I told maybe you'll find something funny there, but there's nothing off the top of my head. B-Ball AZ says, what's the best signature workout to focus on scoring off the dribble? Well, you know the games of the players whose signature workouts they are. He's referring to hoophandbook.com. Read the program descriptions. I describe what is in each program right there on the website. So read the descriptions and you'll have your answer. Subhan Young Money says, how come? Why, when he goes into a game expecting to score 25, he doesn't do it? But when he's not thinking about expectations, he scores way more. Do expectations lead to failures? Well, Subhan is your mind. So don't ask me to explain why your thinking leads to your actions. You should be explaining it to me. DStorm23 says, how good was I in high school? Read my book. It's called Buy a Game. DreAllDay.com/buy a game. It is completely free. Buy as in buy at the store. B-U-Y. And he says he got cut freshman, sophomore year. He wants to get his game to the next level. Is it too late to get a realistic shot at making the team and playing overseas in some form of pro ball? Only time it's too late for anything in life, and we're not just talking basketball, this could be anything, is when that person, whoever that is, decides that it's too late. So one person could get cut their freshman, sophomore year and say, this is great, I'm going to make it and become a superstar basketball player. Another person get cut freshman, sophomore year and quit and never play basketball again. So you got to decide which person you are, and nobody else makes that decision for you, not even me. So you got to figure that out. Austin Alexander says, have I ever dated a girl that hoops? Of course, yes. Eric Reyes says, who's the person saying Dre all day in your intro? Her name is Micah. She is from Germany. And I posted a picture of her on Instagram last year. So if you're not following my Instagram, you probably didn't see the picture. But if you go and look and follow my Instagram, you'll see it. My Instagram is Dre Baldwin, one word. DC is paid. Says, do I think the N1 streetball movement hype is dead or alive in 2000? He says 15, but I think he means 14. The N1 streetball hype been dead. I mean, that ain't really a big thing no more. It was almost 10 years ago. It was huge, and I loved it when it was out, but they ain't really doing much no more. TJ Offensive says, what's the longest I ever stopped playing ball, if ever? No real long periods, maybe a month, maybe sometime during high school or something when I couldn't go to the gym or I wasn't on a team or something like that, but nothing really long, nothing crazy. Bill SJBA says, what's my favorite movie or TV show? I don't really watch movies like that. Favorite TV show, probably SportsCenter. Game of Thrones, I like that. The Wire was a good show. What else? Breaking Bad was good. Jamie Gonzalez says I love you, Dre. I got love back for you, Jamie. Barber ID says, what do I think about the book Relentless? You go to my website, I got a link up there called Books I Read. I read the book Relentless and wrote a review of it last year when the book came out. Guy Itty D Charcoti. I know I messed up your name. He says, do I have a program for defense or are there videos on defense? Yes, both. I have a program for defense at hoophandbook.com. And if you go to my channel, click on playlist, there's an entire playlist of defensive videos, drills, and game situation clips. Muhai Lizde says, did I see the 51-point game by Terrence Ross? And did I score in the summer series game? Answer the second question, yes. Did I see the game by Terrence Ross? No, but I did hear about it. TJ Offensive says, anyone who gave you the fire to be the person I am today and want to become in the future? The answer is no. Rishab Merota says, what signature program would I recommend for him to improve his driving ability? What about his post game? Well, the reason I made the signature workouts is because the workouts are molded around the skills of certain players. So since you all watch basketball and you all also can read, go to the website, you see the programs, you know who the players are, you got a general idea of how they play. Read the program descriptions and you'll see what skills were chosen to be included in the program so that you know what you're getting when you get the program. It's all written out there, so there's no guesswork. So go to the website and read the program descriptions. Rob J says, did I get the new Nike Fuel Band? Any thoughts on it? No, I know they put out a new version of it. I do not have the new version. I still got the original version. I think I got two of them, actually. Jack Hankin says, what are some pregame meals and how long before the game should you eat so it doesn't weigh you down? Well, Jack Hankin, what are some pregame meals? I mean, you could eat anything before a game. Anything could be a pregame meal. There's no certain set of pregame meals that is determined by anyone or any rules of what you can and can't eat before a game. You can eat whatever you want. Some people drink water. Some people eat steak and potatoes. Some people eat McDonald's. Some people eat candy. Eat what works for you. You need to try these things and find out. There's no certain food that's guaranteed to be great for you or anyone else. And he says, how long before the game should you eat so it doesn't weigh you down? You have to figure out what works for you also. Answer to that question. Some people eat an hour before the game. Some people eat right before the game. Some people eat 3 hours before the game. You have to find out what works for you by experimenting and doing these things. Life doesn't come with a handbook manual that you can read so you do everything perfect. You need to go through these things, live it, and experience it so that you know what to do. I know the answers to these questions not because I read a book or somebody answered everything I asked. It's because I lived these things. That's the reason I can answer these questions. So if you want to know these things, you need to go live them. And there's nothing stopping you from doing that. Bill asks, have I ever been starstruck? No. Jamie Gonzalez says he needs to get good. He needs to get good fast. What is the program with the best overall with fundamentals for basketball? All of them. I mean, all my programs deal with fundamentals for basketball. If you want to get good fast, you need to get off the internet and work on your fucking game, like I said back in 2008. AJF06 asks, do I have a wide foot? What the fuck kind of question is that? Wolf Boy Baller 17 says, what is my natural position? I play the guard position, either 1 or 2. Jeezy Dog PSN says, thanks for answering his questions. You're welcome. And he asked me, actually, there was no question there. The Damn Davis says, how can he make his handles faster? If you want to dribble faster, practice faster. You want to play faster, practice faster. You want to run faster, when you're practicing, run faster. Simple as that. Says, how do you deal with a defender who has a long reach and scoring the paint against taller defenders, and please don't cuss him out. If you want to deal with a defender who's good, then you need to play against defenders who are good and keep playing against them until you figure it out. You're going to get your ass kicked. You play enough basketball against enough good people. So obviously the person you're describing is good in relation to you. You need to keep playing against those people and keep getting beat until you figure it out or until you quit. Either A or B is going to happen. So keep playing. There is no how-to. There is no magic words that's going to make you good all of a sudden. There's no book that you're going to read. All of a sudden, you're going to turn into a superstar overnight. You have to put in work. Simple as that. BBYCP321 says, how are your practices, team practices in the pros? Do you run a lot, do drills, scrimmages, etc.? Yes, yes, and yes. We do everything. Same thing any other team does, just better players. Joshua Nicholas says, what role do you play on rec league teams? It depends on the team, and that can vary greatly when you're playing in rec leagues. You never know who's going to show up. He says he loves what I'm doing. He looks forward to watching my vids every day. Thanks, Joshua. Connor Rooch says, do I have any drills or tips for in-season basketball players? Connor, what the hell kind of question is that? Do I have any drills or tips? I mean, I got 3,600 plus videos here. So you got to ask me something way more specific. Do I have any drills or tips? You got to do better than that. Daniel Barras says he's from Australia. He loves basketball. My videos have helped him. That's great. He made the state team this year after starting to watch my videos. Congratulations, Nate Robinson's favorite player. How can he get hops like his? DreAllDay.com/jump. DreAllDay.com/jump. That should help you out. Heat Nation wins. Has ever humiliated another player to the point where I felt sorry for that player? Well, humiliation is kind of like an emotion. So somebody to be humiliated, they would have to feel it. So I wouldn't know if they were humiliated or not. So I can't really say. And would I feel sorry for that player? No, I wouldn't. If I ever did it, I wouldn't feel sorry for that player. But I wouldn't know if they're actually humiliated because they would have to decide that. And he says, who will win a one-on-one, Dominique Wilkins or Dwayne Wade in their prime? I'll go with Dwayne Wade. Dance for RG says, how do you make these tutorials if you never played in the NBA? How do you make an NBA tutorial if you never played a second in the NBA? I don't know. I just do it. I turn on the camera. I do the tutorial. I record it. I put it in the computer, edit it, and I post it to YouTube. That's how I do it. So now you know. So now you can do it. But you got to have the skill to do it. So you might come up short. Marchant Richard 6. This is my thoughts on the Nike Fuel Band. I have a Fuel Band. I like it. He says, do I wear it when I work out, and does it actually work? Do I recommend it? Does it actually work? What do you mean by work? It's a band you put on your wrist. It's like asking if a watch works. I mean, it's a watch. You put it on your wrist, and it does what it's supposed to do. The fuel band measures your activity. Does it do that? Yes. So if that's what you're asking about, quote-unquote work, then yes, it does work. Do I recommend it? I don't make any money whether you buy a fuel band or not, so whether you get it or not, I really don't care. Go to the website and read up on it. I mean, I don't understand the type of questions y'all be asking me. Darian Brother says, do I think height is based only on genetics? I think genetics is a strong factor in height, but of course, nutrition definitely plays a role also. KD 35 MVP says, how can I improve my quickness at dribbling? Covered that earlier. You want to dribble fast, practice fast. If your dribble's not fast enough, speed up your practice of dribbling. Mr. Convex 10 says, if basketball wasn't invented, what sport do I think I would be playing? Well, who knows? A million things would be different if there was no basketball. I had a couple of weak questions I had to overlook. Mac Daddy says, who's a better player between Damian Lillard and Kyrie Irving? He leans towards Damian. My thoughts, I don't really see that much of a separation between either of them at this point. It's too early to say. Khalil Rowe says, how can I redeem... Well, he's asking me something about Hoop Handbook that he messed up accessing the package. Khalil, email me. If you have a problem with the package, send me an email. Don't leave a comment on YouTube. Or send an email to info@hoophandbook.com. If you purchase a package, you'll get a confirmation email. If there's a problem, then you email back the confirmation email. Y'all should know that when you're spending money, you should know how to conduct what you're doing. ASAP Lamar says, why don't I play NBA 2K? I just don't. Elvis Gonzalez says he twisted his ankle. He can't run or jump. Is there anything he can do at the gym to get better? Yeah, you can sit your ass down so you don't mess up your ankle anymore until it gets better. Saul Rosales says, do I prefer body weight training or weight training more? Why does it have to be one or the other? Why can't you do both? If you're in the gym working out, you can do a combination of everything. Coach Alex Mastro says, before you play a game, are you confident in your ability or are you afraid? I'm never afraid. David John says, how do you balance basketball and Dre all day? I just do it, like Nike. Just do it. Johnny Adane says, does height matter in basketball? Does weight matter in basketball? Yes, of course, they both matter. The basket is 10 feet high, so the closer you are naturally to the basket, the more chance it is you'll be able to make shots, which is why 7-footers are so coveted in basketball. So, yes, of course, height matters. So, I mean, does it mean everything? Does it mean you can't play if you're not the tallest guy? No, of course you know that. So, I don't understand why you're asking that question if you know the answer to it. Does weight matter? Kind of the same thing. Weight can fluctuate a lot of different ways, but it's how the weight's distributed and how a person moves with their weight. So that's all by individual. You can have two guys 6'8", one of them 250, one of them 200 pounds, and they can both be superstars. So it just depends on your skills and a million other factors besides just how much you weigh and exactly how tall you are. But you already knew the answer to that question. Ask me a better question next time. Guy Lee says he's reading my book by a game. He wants to ask, when I was in high school, what's the biggest difference or difficulty with playing one-on-one in a park and full-court games in a league? What's the biggest difference or difficulty? I don't know. I mean, you got to ask me something a little bit more specific than that. You play basketball, so I'm sure you play one-on-one and league games, so you should know the answer to that. I don't really understand the question. Martin Ivanov says he recalled that I had played in Germany. Yes, I did. He says, I'm not playing there now. Did they not want me or I got tired of them? It's just a combination. And it's business. It's not always just a basketball thing. So sometimes the business don't work out. Sometimes the timing's not right. Sometimes the situation with the team's not right. You never know. It's all different situations that can happen. Adam Wisniewski says he's from Europe and everybody wants to play in the big league. What's the best way to show my skills to people? To stay here or go to college and play NCAA ball and get in the draft maybe next year? Well, Adam, that would depend on how good you actually are, because sometimes people talk about these things they want to do, but they don't have the skills to actually accomplish them. So you would have to assess if you had the ability to do these things you're talking about. There is no best way. If you have game, people will find you. It doesn't matter where you're playing or what you're doing. There are European guys who get drafted straight from Europe, and there are European guys who come over and play college in the States and get drafted. And you already know that, I'm sure, since you're talking about this. So there is no best way. The best way is to have game, and they'll find you. It doesn't matter where you go, they will find you if you have game. So work on your game is the best way. Tough Tanny says, Dre, do you have a girlfriend? No, I don't. I am single as of January 30th, 2014. Guy Itty, he asked, would the signature workouts help your conditioning? Should I get the conditioning program? Yes, they can help your conditioning. Should you get the conditioning program? Yeah, you can get that too. TJ Offensive says, would I say the in and out crossover to spin move is the most effective one-on-one driving move in the game? There is no such thing as the most effective move. The effective move depends on the game situation and the players involved in this situation. So there is no one move in a vacuum that's most effective for every single player in every single situation. Every situation is different. You got to have enough game to be able to react in a moment. There is no one move or one shot or one technique or anything that's guaranteed to always work. So you got to add to your repertoire if you're thinking like that. DJ Flash says he dominates in practice, but in the games he doesn't do as well. DJ, go to my website, guides and tips page. I wrote several guides on players who play good in practice but not in games. So go read that page. Rob J says, have I ever dunked on someone so bad that the crowd went crazy? Oh, absolutely. Jack Hankins says, what's my favorite type of shot in basketball? Let's say an open jump shot that you just make nothing but net. Calvin, Eagles fan, says, am I an Eagles fan? No. Raymond Tarka says, what's my biggest fear? My biggest fear, can't think of anything off the top of my head. Just wasting time is my biggest fear. Just end up one day and look back and say I wasted time. I didn't take advantage of opportunities. I didn't do what I could have did with my opportunities. So wasted time is my biggest fear. That ain't really a fear. That's kind of like something that just keeps you moving, keeps you doing things and accomplishing things. I wouldn't call it a fear, though. Andrew XU says, how would point guards benefit from post moves? Point guards benefit from post moves the same way any other player does. A post move is a post move. It's like asking, how does a big guy benefit from a jump shot? The purpose of the game on offense is to score points. If you're good in the post, you can score points in the post. If you have no post moves, then a post is an area that you can't use. So that means you will have to use everything but that area. So why not have that skill? So it doesn't matter what position you are. It just matters the skills that you have. I'm sure you watch basketball. I'm sure you've seen point guards score in the post. The closer you are to the basket, the higher your efficiency is. Those are statistics. That's not an opinion. Those are statistics that you see in basketball. Chris Hidalgo says, is there any way he can improve his shot release? He wants to be quick like Stephen Curry. He does a dip when he casts the ball. The coach says, don't dip. He wants to stop the dip because most good shooters, when they get the ball, he doesn't want to stop the dip because most good shooters, they dip like Ray Allen, Stephen Curry, and many more. First of all, Chris, you're not going to become Ray Allen or Stephen Curry. You're going to have to become the best version of yourself. If your coach is telling you to not do something and you want to keep doing it, and there's a conflict between your coach's opinion and your opinion, why are you telling it to me when you could be talking directly to your coach? Why are you on the team if you're not going to talk to your coach? So go talk to him about the issue, and y'all hash it out and figure it out. Why are you on the team? You're not going to talk to the guy. That's the purpose of him being there, and that's the purpose of you being there. So open your mouth and communicate with the person you're having a problem with. The same thing I told a couple people earlier in this Q&A. As far as improving your shot release, there's no such thing as improving a shot release. A shot release is like a matter of your opinion. To say improve it, there's nothing to measure for us to say it improved. A shot release is just a shot release. You can't measure a shot release, so you can't improve it. You had to get it to where it works for you, and I don't know what works for you, and apparently neither do you. So you need to keep working. Again, talk to your coach and figure out what works for you. Joseph Panion says he knows I don't have a favorite team. When the Sixers went to the finals, I think they had a chance. Did I go to any of the games since I'm from Philly? When Sixers went to the finals 2001, I think they had a chance. No, I didn't, because the Lakers had not lost a playoff game yet. That postseason, they only lost game one, then they killed the Sixers 4 straight games. Did I go to any of those games? No, I did not. AJF06 says, when his shot form changes sometimes, when he shoots, his form changes sometimes. Do I have any tips on keeping your shooting form? Yes, practice as much as you can with the exact same form until it becomes muscle memorized. So stop changing it. You got to keep practicing so you stop thinking about it and stop changing it. Armand says, who do I think is closer to MVP, LeBron or Kevin Durant? Of course, right now, Kevin Durant, he's closer to MVP. LeBron's won a bunch of them. He's won the last couple in a row. People want KD to get the award. They've been wanting him to get it for a couple of years. He's playing great. His team's doing great. He's putting up great stats. So right now he would be MVP, but we're only halfway through the season, so we'll see what happens. Psycho wrote me a paragraph. Psycho, you have to send me this in an email. I'm not reading this here. Philip Wesley says, do I listen to music while I train? Of course. I put out almost 20 videos of workout music. So go to my channel and you'll see the workout music playlist. Also on my website, I posted those videos, workout music playlists. Raymond says, when should I start lifting weights for strength? He's 14 now. Can he start? You can start, but you need to know what you're doing. I would recommend the Ultimate Athlete program, not because of the training, but because my trainer Maria writes an extensive introduction on what a young person such as yourself needs to know and needs to be able to do before you start hitting heavy weights, which could injure you if you don't know what you're doing. So since you haven't started weight training yet, you need some expert advice, and you'll get it in the Ultimate Athlete program at hoophandbook.com. Laker Nation asked 2 questions. One, Laker Nation, am I interested in going to Israel? You got to give me more detail than that. Go there for what? And the second question, what am I going to do when my basketball career is over? Will I become a trainer? Well, you're going to have to wait and see what I'm going to do. And will I become a trainer? Who knows? Maybe. I'm not leaning towards it right now, but you never know what will happen in the future. Sebastian says, do I have any tips on setting good screens? Yes, get a wide base, protect yourself, protect your sensitive areas. And he said he's already good at setting screens, but he needs more tips from me. What tips do you need on setting the screen, dude? Next question. Michael Satumba says, if I was in the NBA, if I make the NBA, will I still make videos? Yes. And I actually responded to some of these questions. YouTube changed the way they do comments, so I responded to some of these not knowing that they were in the Q&A, but I'll answer them in the video anyway. Mr. Dada Beat says, does putting powder on your hands improve your grip on the ball? Dada, go get some powder, put it on your hands, and see if it improves your grip. Everyone's hands are different. We all have different physiology, so even if it was good for me or not good for me, doesn't mean it'll be the same for you. Dangerous K says he likes the Chris Paul signature workout program. He's looking forward to Tony Parker program. By the time you see this video, that will be out. For those of you who don't know, new signature workout programs called the Reloaded Group. It's 9 different programs. One is called the Weekend Warrior. For those of you who maybe not serious, trying to go to the NBA or be superstar players, but you still love the game and you want to stay in shape and work on your fundamentals and skills. That's the Weekend Warrior. The other programs are Paul Pierce, Paul George, Tracy McGrady, Gilbert Arenas, Tony Parker, Damian Lillard, Blake Griffin, and there's one more person I'm forgetting. I'll tell you when I think of him. I said Tracy McGrady, Paul Pierce, Paul George, Damian Lillard. I'll think of it. Tony Parker is another one, if I didn't say him. Isaac B says, do you do weights like bench press, dumbbells, etc.? Of course I do. I got a program for that called the Position of Power. It's a strength training program also written by my trainer. Would I recommend start lifting as a teen or wait till I mature a bit? So your answer, Isaac, is the same as what I said to the person earlier about strength training at a young age. You need to know what you're doing. Don't just go in the weight room and start grabbing stuff if you don't know what you're doing and you don't have a base of functional strength. Read the introduction to that program and you'll have all the information you need. Jamie Gonzalez says, my thoughts on that guy from the Rockets who was making threes. I believe he's talking about Chandler Parsons, who hit like 10 3-pointers. I know that's not the all-time record. Somebody's done more than that. What are my thoughts on it? I mean, it's good shooting. Nothing else to say. Rishab says, if I had the skills and game right now I had when I was in high school, what would my stats be? Come to me with a better question than that. Victor Mwamba says, if you're a small guard and you can switch them to a big man, he takes you into the post, what's the best thing to do? Well, it depends on a whole lot of factors. How good is that big man? How good are you? How strong is he? How strong are you? What are his skills? What are your skills? What's the game situation? What are you capable of doing? What are you not capable of doing? Where's everybody else on the floor at that time? Since it's 5-on-5, it's 10 people, so that's just 2. Where's the other 8? What's your team's philosophy? What's the other team's philosophy? What's the score? What's the time in the game? There's a million different factors, so there's no one thing you should definitely do. You got to play the game more and develop more of a feel if you're asking that type of question. It's not how the game works. Stat Player says, what NBA players and teams impressed me in the 2000s era? You got to come to me with a better question than that. Victor Mwamba says, how did I end up living in Miami? I moved here. Keith Liang says, when I shoot from mid-range, my shooting form is relaxed. When I go to the three-point line, my form changes. I can't control how hard to release the ball. Sometimes I might airball. Are there any drills or anything that can make me have the same shooting stroke? First thing you need to do, Keith, is stop shooting three-pointers. You cannot make them. You're not a good three-point shooter. Stop shooting them. That's the first thing you need to do. You're in a hole, stop digging. You need to get stronger. You're not strong enough to shoot threes. You don't need drills and tips. You need to get stronger, which means you're going to need some time so you can grow into your body, and your body can grow, and you need to develop some functional strength, which you can get from the Ultimate Athlete Hoop Handbook program. Adrian Grant says, how do you get rid of wrist tendonitis or tennis elbow? I've never had that, and I'm also not a trainer, so I shouldn't be giving you any type of medical advice. He's been to doctors many times, and they say just rest it because they don't have anything else to say. He's had it for a year. Basketball is one of the few sports that don't hurt my arms as much. What should I do? So if basketball doesn't hurt your arms, then why are you worried about the tendonitis? I don't understand. Is the tendonitis bothering you, or is it not? If it is, then maybe you need to go to a different doctor or go on the internet, because we live in an information age, and all the information you would want on elbow or wrist tendonitis is on the internet, and it's completely free. So what's stopping you from accessing that information? Absolutely nothing. I'm not the person to give you that information because I have no knowledge or background in it. State of Nate 802 says, I've ever been on TV for basketball. I think in some of the places I played in Europe, the games came on TV, but in America, I don't think I've ever played a game on TV. Stat Player 2301 says, since you played D3 in college, was there a time during your career where you wanted or had any offers coming from a D2 or a D1 college? No, I never had an offer from a D2 or a D1 college ever in my life. Drop the Bass, last question, says, I'm from Australia. I want to play basketball in college. Do scouts come over and watch? And if they do they watch the NBL or what? Drop the Bass. I don't know. I don't live in Australia. How would I know if scouts come to Australia? And I live in America. Why would I care if a scout was going to Australia? I don't live there. So maybe you can ask some people in Australia that same question. They can probably give you a good answer. All right, that's it, everybody. We got through these pretty quickly. Again, any questions you got that are good questions, leave them in the comments to this video. Do not come in and respond to the questions that are asked by anyone else in the comments to this video. That's that. Signature workout programs, new ones out today. Again, let me see if I can remember. Paul Pierce, Paul George, T-Mac, Blake Griffin, Tony Parker, Damian Lillard, Jamal Crawford. That's the guy I forgot. Jamal Crawford, Weekend Warrior, and I said Damian Lillard, Tony Parker. There's 9 new programs. Go to the website, hoophandbook.com. You'll see the whole package. You can get them all together in one package at a discount, or you can get them individually as you wish. Work on your game, DreAllDay.com.
Go. Got it? Yep. Hey, punch card.